everyone, I am Mike of Mike and Just Play, and welcome back to the Pokemon Yellow Immortal Pikachu Nuzlocke. Last time we, began the gauntlet between, Fuchsia and Lavender Town. We're kind of going backwards about it. And this time we are continuing that path. I kind of laid out the plans for what we'll be doing moving forward last time, and I know that this is a brand new week, so it's kind of old news at this point for you if you watched last week's episode. We've got a distinct plan, and this is still the same recording session. As episode 24, I'm still going. So, not 24, 23. I'm looking at my paper wrong. I thought this was like the 7th one I've done. It is. I'm hoping I am still maintaining a good energy level. It's kind of tough to tell for me, because I love doing this, so it's not like I'm feeling drained or anything like that. But I can't really tell if I'm still coming across as being excited, because I totally am. I'm totally oh yeah, I'm gonna record 8 episodes in one day. That is a thrill. But on the other hand, I don't know. Do I sound tired or something? Q, you're taking a shot. You're 8 levels below this coughing, but it doesn't seem to have anything scary at this level. Well, you might win this. But enough, you know what, I'll give it one more shot, because that's a 4-hit KO. It's, if it has sludge, you could die. And I'd rather you not die, so they're not quite ready for the coughings yet. It used tackle, so I was guaranteed to win unless it Gen 1 missed, which could always happen. 1 in 256 chance, and it's happened twice to me so far in this run. I've been keeping track. I've noted it both of the times it's happened. Gen 1 misses. Even moves with 100% accuracy still have a 1 in 256 chances of failing, because the table, for some reason, a programming glitch or something caused it to only read up to a 255 chance, but it actually runs on a 256. So even moves with 100% accuracy can still miss, with the exception being Swift, which negates the accuracy tables entirely. And it avoids the accuracy tables entirely. So just some of the knowledge I picked up along the way, some of it from you, from the viewers. A lot of it from learning things along the way, or hey, why did my Ice Beam just miss? That shouldn't happen. Or, hey, why did my Ice Beam just miss in a Nuzlocke and then my Nidoqueen died? Or, no, almost died. My Nidoqueen didn't die, but it almost died. That happened to me once, and I was like, how did that happen? And that was how it happened. It was a Gen 1 miss. Which I was unaware was a thing. So that's actually how I found that one out. So, story time. Story time. That actually gives me a great idea. Because, okay, the Gauntlet of Trainers here isn't particularly interesting. It was why I was, laying out future plans in the last episode. Because there's just a lot of trainers. It is needed in a Nuzlocke. We need to earn as many levels as we can. But, fighting another coughing, it's old hat, unless there's drama going on, which I'm trying to avoid a lot of drama. Hey, cool, Q learned Supersonic. Stu hits 35. Yeah, the Nidoking factor is kicking in a little bit here with Stu just he's not quite immune, but almost immune to poison, and that's very helpful. I'll probably switch up to Fluffums being my poison counter for a little bit. But anyway, what were we talking about? Right, story time. So I can use, during this, the rest of this, which is probably, realistically, next episode I'm going to do a couple small things that are not just this, but realistically there's still 3 or 4 episodes of this, and then we're going straight at Silphco. Oh, come on, don't disable dig. Alright, that's still not great, but it's fine. So I can do story times because I've told the story of my first ever Nuzlocke, and I think while I was telling that, I was like, hey, I'll probably tell the story of multiple first Nuzlockes that I've done for games. I can remember very well the first one I've done for each region. Because I think it's always interesting sharing Nuzlocking stories. It's such a unique way of playing the game that everyone has like a different experience with it at some point or another. And so I just think that's kind of fun. I don't remember like all of the details for everything, but I remember enough that it can be like, I can tell the story. So you know what? Let's do it. Let's do in this episode. I will tell the story of my first ever Johto-based Nuzlocke, because I do remember it. So we had. It was wait. Which one did I do first? Actually, now I'm like, do I remember it? If Bing was a higher level here, I would. If I had remembered this guy that had a Farfetch'd, I would have just sent him out. But alright, I remember the Heart Gold Soul Silver one better, and I think I did that one first. Yeah. So yes, I did because I remember it. That means I did it first. So the first time I ever ran Heart Gold Soul Silver, I was fairly experienced as a Nuzlocker already. I saved the Johto games for later because they're pretty hard, and I didn't want to do that quickly. And so the first time I ever did Johto, I chose a random starter. I like doing that with most Nuzlocks. I just roll a dice or use an RNG generator online or something. Random number generator. Yeah, good job, Mike. I just produce a random number, or I use my trainer card a lot of the time. When you can see your trainer card before you actually pick a starter, I like to pick based on the last digit of the trainer card. 1 through 3 is grass type, 4 through 6 is fire, and then 7 through 9 is water, and 0 is I get to choose. So on that, I rolled between 4 and 6. So I got to start actually with a Cyndaquil, who is my favorite Gen 2 starter, even though he's not the best starter for a Nuzlocke, because when I always think of ratings for Nuzlocks are very different from what I would consider ratings for an ordinary playthrough, because in Gen 2, well, actually, by Heart Gold Soul Silver, it's the same result either way, but Typhlosion is not the best one. For a Nuzlocke. For an ordinary playthrough, especially in Gold, Silver, Crystal, yes, he is. But for a Nuzlocke, not so much. I really should have healed. You know what shorts you're going to take on. But yeah, so in the Heart Gold Soul Silver one, I was like, okay, what do I want to do here? So I started with the Cyndaquil. Then I moved on. I caught it went well. It went very well, actually. I caught early on a what is it? Spinnerack. I caught a Spinnerack early on and decided I'm gonna try it. And the Spinnerack was the first one to die while trying to catch a Pineco off a headbutt tree in Ilex Forest, because that's what I was going for. So he didn't make it all that far, but he did okay. And then, I remember that I have healing items, which is good. And then I also added just a Pidgey. Because Pidgey. And so that was kind of the trio that I had for a little bit. And then I added a Geodude. I'm not taking on a Pidgeotto with a 19 gold EM. What am I doing? Then I added a Geodude before Falkner. So I had 4 Pokemon going into Falkner, and then Geodude just destroyed him, and then Geodude and Cyndaquil destroyed Bugsy, and I'm like rolling. So that when my Spinarak died against the Spinarak's level 20. When my Spinarak died against the Pineco, I was just like so disappointed. So I replaced it with a Heracross. And that was kind of all I needed for a while. Heracross destroys Whitney. Morty was not a problem because I had a normal type, and that's kind of all you need for Morty in Heart Gold Soul Silver. So it was kind of like this I just steamrolled them. I really did. Eventually, I needed more Pokemon, so I added. I'm me, so I wasn't just trying to use the norms because I already had Geodude and Johto and Heracross, kind of busted. So I was just like, I'll do some lesser known stuff. So I added along the way. Oh gosh, what else did I have? Because I know what happened in the Elite Four, because that's where things kind of went bad. But I added eventually a Chinchou, and then I decided, I added Chinchou, kind of mid-game, and I also had a... Who was it? Because I got real sad when I lost my other team member. It wasn't the Pidgey, because the Pidgeot made it. Who was it? I think it was something weird. I think it was like... Did I add a Sunkern? I might have. I think it was. I think I added Sunflora, and Sunflora died against Chuck. That's what it was. I added a Sunflora, and Sunflora... Immortal P, are you gonna die? Okay. I added a Sunflora, and Sunflora died against Chuck, which was not expected. And so then I got, like, annoyed, and added a Gyarados. And then I didn't lose anybody until the Elite Four. So I went into the Elite Four with a Typhlosion, a Pidgeot, a Golem, because, I was playing on a cartridge, I could trade. I pretty much only ever play on cartridge. I play legitimate copies. I just prefer it. I just do. And so... I had a Golem, I had Heracross, Lantern, and Gyarados, and that's what I went into the Elite Four with, and I'm like, I can't lose. These guys, please, I've got a Gyarados with Dragon Dance. And I wasn't playing hardcore. It was, I could use items to heal. I was playing on Switch mode. I was fine. I had a ton of options no matter what I was doing. But against Will, my Lantern was my best option for, honestly, a lot of it. And he died against Will to a Confuse Ray followed by Crit Psychic. And Confusion did hit twice. And I was not expecting that. Barely got through Will after that. I mean, not barely. Typhlosion kind of wrecked him. But, that was my electric type. Which, by the way, the grinding for the Heracross, Gyarados, Lantern, all in the slow experience category in Johto, a game where, you need to grind using no matter what because the level curve is a bit wacky. Still love the games, and I usually have ways around it, but in a Nuzlocke, you don't really want to use the ways around it. And so losing my Lantern at the first Elite Four member was like crushing. But I'm like, it's fine. I'm fine. So, Typhlosion basically makes Koga kind of free if you, use them right. And then, sure, so we'll have you take on this one. And then, let's see. Bruno was no problem because I had a Gyarados and a Pidgeot. Karen was not really a threat because, again, I had a Gyarados and a Heracross. But then I get to Liz, and I'm like, all right, my team is not very well situated overall against Lance. You know, but I do have a Dragon Dancing Gyarados with Ice Fang and Waterfall, and I believe his final move was like Crunch or Strength. Just something to handle other water types. I didn't give him Earthquake. I already had an Earthquaker in Golem. Why would I risk it? And so I'm like, alright, so my plan is basically just Gyarados will sweep. And it seemed like a great plan. Until... So Gyarados went in against his Gyarados, and Lance's Gyarados can't really hit another one. So Dragon Danced all the way up to, it was like +5 attack, +6 speed because of the Intimidate. And I'm like feeling great. I'm like, alright, I got this. This is my win. Knocked out his Gyarados. My Gyarados had gotten a Hyper Potion at some point, so it was like, I don't know, 80% health. He was in really good shape. He was fine. Ice Fang missed on his Dragonite? His first Dragonite that he sent in. And that Dragonite knew Thunder and one-hit the Gyarados. And I went, oh my gosh, I'm dead. So it immediately turned from, I'm fine, to, oh no, everything has gone wrong. And I had 5 Pokemon. Lance had 5 Pokemon left. I had 4. And Heracross doesn't really have an option against all flying types on Lance's team. Typhlosion, with basically just fire moves, doesn't have a lot of options against Lance's all resistance to fire team. Pidgeot, not exactly the strongest of Pokemon. Decent, but iffy. But I did have Golem. And Golem, rock type, super effective against everything on Lance's team. Golem took out 4 of Lance's remaining Pokemon. It was the Aerodactyl and the Aerodactyl, the Charizard, and 2 out of the 3 Dragonites. When he switched in the other Dragonite that in Blizzard, I knew that was what it had, so I switched in Typhlosion, and Typhlosion, Heracross, and Pidgeot triple-teamed the one Dragonite. Yes, Pidgeot came in on the Blizzarding Dragonite. I had no choice, really. It might have been out of Blizzards by then, honestly. What am I doing here? What am I doing? I'm just, like, looking through the menu. So, yeah, that's how it went. I lost 2 Pokemon, including the Gyarados. Gen 4 Gyarados, by the way. One of the most dominant Nuzlocking Pokemon ever. And he's even better in Diamond Pearl Platinum, where I think he's the best individual one ever. But yeah, no. But in Heart Gold Sword, he's still ridiculous. But that is when I learned the lesson: if you only have one option against an opponent in a Nuzlocke, a tough one, you should come up with a backup plan. Because yeah, my whole plan revolved around Gyarados, which I thought, that's the safest it can be. He's got a safe Dragon Dance setup. There's no stopping that. But there was. It was a 5% chance followed by a 70% chance, and, you know, that was it. That was the end of that plan. And so now, you know, that's why here I am, like, I don't really have... I have options against Sabrina. Shorts is definitely an option. If he can outspeed the Alakazam, he might just one-hit with Hyper Fang. But Hyper Fang's not 100% accurate. So, you know, and he'd have to switch in. He has to switch in on the Alakazam. I don't have a safe switch. So, you know. Interesting. And look, to the left of that post. It's PPO. I think that's the one that says it. Oh no, it's this one. Look. Oh, that post. There just also happens to be a hidden item there. So yeah, that is the story of my first Johto game, Nuzlocke. It did not go well. And, well, no, it did. I mean, it went well. I just had 4 losses, which is okay. But, you know, it was just getting to the Elite Four and being like, man, my Lantern dies on the first one, which I do consider Will kind of the toughest member of Johto's Elite Four, honestly. Because just Psychic Spam with either fast or bulky Pokemon, all of whom can hit hard with Psychic. It's not bad. You know, just dangerous. So, you know, I had gotten through so much of Johto with so little problem against the real problematic trainers. You know, Whitney was nothing because I had a Heracross. Claire went swimmingly because I had a Gyarados. Like, you know, things that ordinarily aren't that great, I just crushed. But, you know, lost a Sunflora to Chuck's Poliwrath. Was not expected. I'm just gonna go heal at this point. We're just all banged up and running out of PP. That's the real flaw here. So yeah, so that was you know, to get that far, and then I mean I pulled it out. You know, lost 4 Pokemon total. But still, it was like a whoa, seriously? That's where I'm gonna lose my Gyarados? Okay. But it was fun, and I hope that you enjoyed the thrilling tale of just a recap, I guess. Anyway, we got through a lot of trainers in this episode. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to get that far. You know what? It's Q. It's time to not just be taking up the first spot every battle. We're gonna get some experience next time. I'm gonna walk through where we were, but thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this short story time. Next time I'll tell, I guess, the Gen 3 tale, which I'll have to remember it first. I think I can. So yes, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time as we continue our gauntlet on through. See you then.